Hello there guys! When you're browsing Steam every once in a while searching for a new game, you might come across some really cheap titles. And while it's rather tedious to go on your own searching for a hidden gem or a revolutionary title in the bargain bin, some of those games might be quite amusing. Today we've made a short list for you, a list of top 10 games for €1 that can be quite fun. Enjoy! This adorable platformer from Minibus Studios combines the 2D aesthetics with gameplay elements from Valve's hit Portal games. What do we mean by that? Well, to put it simply, it's a pixel art infused platformer where we're given a portal gun. There's nothing revolutionary about the game as it's a pretty straightforward experience. The developers behind the game got recognized and soon after the release were helping with the production of Towerfall Ascension. Marfa Polish is pretty artistic for such a small price. The game takes a lot from titles like Botanicula and such. We play as a bug in a beautiful forest and have typical bug problems and challenges of survival. The game might be short and not too complicated, but it makes up for it in style and artistic value, mainly the painted-like graphics and a relaxing soundtrack. If you like artistic games, it's worth a shot. The Steam store is full to the brim with various shoot-em-ups, be it large or small, and that's why Star Savior's price tag makes it stand out. It might not be perfect, but for €1, a few hours of playtime is all we could ask for. And if you like camp and think so hideously bad they're actually good, you'll love the game's face animations. It might not be perfect or on par with the greatest shoot-em-ups from Japan for that matter, but if you're a fan of the genre, it's right up your alley. Klusky in Polish literally means block or brick-like Legos. It's not the developer's first puzzle game, and it certainly won't be his last. Klusky plays a bit like dominoes and is quite minimalistic in its design, but along with the bright colors, it certainly works for the game's advantage. We solve pretty easy puzzles and are rewarded with a pompous sound effect upon completion of every one of them. In other words, Klusky is a simple game, but it's fun and looks good. Revolt of Defense is probably the most abstract and original game on our list, as it's a procedurally generated strategy game. In this title, we're a leader of an island that floats in space, occasionally bumping into other islands. We develop, gather resources, recruit new people for our village, and from time to time fight with others. The mechanics aren't deep enough to keep you engaged that long, but if more work was put into Revolt of Defense, it could be something truly unique. As of now, it's an interesting concept, or a bigger demo if you will, and for such a small price, it's more than enough for us. Browsing Steam, you can find hundreds of retro pixelated platformers that rarely stand out. Checo in the Castle of Lucia caught my attention because of its, well, weirdness. In the game, we are tasked with completing 60 rooms, or levels, each with a single puzzle, and we must do so in one playthrough, as there are no checkpoints or saves in the game. Checo is probably the most interesting platformer protagonist ever, as he encounters dozens of bizarre creatures, abstract puzzles, and characters from pop culture. To sum up, pixelated, absurd, and cheap. We love it. Naming a game after an audiophile format doesn't seem at first glance like the best development decision ever, but Waveform proves that sometimes it actually might work. In Waveform, we're controlling the sound amplitude on which our spaceship travels, tries to survive, and collects orbs. As many other games on this list, it's rather simple, but the nice soundtrack makes the experience a relaxing one. On a bigger budget and with a few more ideas in terms of gameplay, that concept could truly turn into an original and popular indie title. We can't wait for the sequel. I hope they call it MP3. The next game on our list, Spaceport Hope, plays a lot like Cave Story. It's an open platformer in which we can choose the order of the levels we play. We're given a simple mission as a space mercenary, but things go really bad really fast. From there, we go on an adventure and explore various planets. The shooting and the overall controls feel really good, and the story that unfolds in the background gives our galactical shenanigans a sense of purpose. It's probably the best cave story clone out there. Doing research for this video, I came across many adventure games made in the RPG Maker or the Game Maker programs, and while some of them were promising, the first impressions ended up rather mediocre. The Deed, however, instantly got my undivided attention. In this game, we play as a man who returns to his family home to collect inheritance, but to do so, he must first kill his sister. Sounds intriguing? It certainly is. It's not like we play a cliché evil murderer, as the entire family is pretty messed up on its own. Throughout the course of the game, we explore the mansion, meet other family members, and plan our, as the title inclines, deed. Original, dark, and atmospheric, one of the best adventure games on this price range. It's highly possible that you've already heard of the bizarre title that is The Mountain, but in case you didn't, here's a synopsis. You play as a mountain. At first, the game asks us to answer some questions, draw something, and then informs us that we're a mountain. And throughout the course of the game, we can watch a mountain float in the sky. That's it. The title is quite controversial, as it's more like an experiment, an anti-game if you will, that makes you question what the games are all about. What was the creator's intention? Why a mountain? Does God exist? Why haven't I subscribed to GamePressure yet? So many questions. And well, that's Mountain for you. Okay, that's it guys. That was our list of top 10 Steam games for €1. While those titles won't blow your mind like AAA titles with graphics and overall quality, they can be quite fun. And when you're on a lower budget, that's all it takes. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more at GamePressure.com.